Welcome, beloved families of Virat HD. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel in order to reach for others. The topic of today's video is fire extinguishing methods. We have already made 3 English language movies regarding fire classes, components needed to start a fire, and causes of fire and prevention before this one. Now, I'll show you the techniques we employ to contain fires when they arise. Stick with me through to the very end. There are various approaches to fighting fires. In order to put out a fire, we must first take out one or more of the components that cause a fire to start. The first thing we do when trying to put out a fire is cooling. The majority of the time, this approach is utilized to put out house fires. The most popular technique for controlling and putting out fires is to use water. The combustible item should be sprayed with enough water to put out the fire by lowering the temperature. The heat from the blazing fire is retained in this. When enough water is added to a fire, the fuel's heat will be lowered to the point where insufficient gas may be released for the fire to ignite. Fires involving solid and liquid combustibles that ignite with sparks can be put out using cooling fire extinguishing techniques. Water cooling, however, is insufficient in reducing gas, vapor, emissions to put out fires involving low flammability liquids and gases. In addition to cooling solid and liquid combustibles, water also controls flammable gases through reducing the temperature of the hot fumes in the upper gas layer. This slows down the combustion process, inhibits heat transfer, and reduces ignition potential. But when the water turns into steam, it has a significant impact or damage. Excessive steam can disrupt the temperature balance or ratio, make vision difficult to see through, and raise the risk of burning. Thus, controlling the vapor emission by the use of a quality spray system, spraying water in the proper amount, or using water effectively or efficiently, by lifting or spraying depending on the conditions, is important in order to reduce water vapor. Generally speaking, eliminating heat, one of the components needed to start a fire, is the process of putting out a fire through cooling. This technique makes use of water or other moist and cold fire extinguishers, like carbon dioxide and foam. The second technique is starvation. This procedure included eliminating fuels that were combustible, closing the gas cylinder regulator to limit the flow of gas release, stop flow of liquid, and relocating solid fuels away from the fire's root or the fire area by removing flammable objects. There are 3 general methods to starve the fire. Removing flammable materials from the fire area, removing a fire from the flammable material area, and cutting the path of fire spread. The smothering technique is the third. It is the process of lowering the amount of oxygen that enters the fire in order to slow it down and put it out. By keeping flammable gases from coming into touch with oxygen, this technique aids in putting out stove fires. Oxygen is eliminated and the combustion process is put out by surrounding the fire with inert gases, such as carbon dioxide. In addition, smothering the flames with foam and shutting the doors before leaving the building can help prevent oxygen from getting to the fire. Smothering often refers to the removal of oxygen, which is necessary for the start of a fire. Inhibiting the chain reaction is the fourth technique. It is partly due to their ability to disrupt or hinder the combustion chain reaction that fire extinguisher products like halons and dry chemicals, often sodium bicarbonate, work so well. For flames involving gases and liquid combustibles, this extinguishing technique is efficient, recommended, because a flame is necessary for these fuels to burn. A flameless fire is difficult to put out with these substances. Inhibiting chain reaction, which is one of the key elements in keeping a fire alive, is a general way to put out a fire by stopping the chain reaction. Thank you for tuning in.